Democrats are attempting to take action following Donald Trump's decision to assassinate Iran's top military general, Qasem Soleimani. Now, Adam Schiff had an interview with the Washington Post, and he thinks that it might be a good idea to call a public hearing on the matter in order to determine whether or not the Trump administration is bluffing on the alleged intel that showed that Iran served as an imminent threat. So Representative Adam Schiff says he wants to see the House hold open hearings on multiple aspects of this spiraling situation in Iran. Here's a direct quote from Schiff. "I think there should be open hearings on this subject. The president has put us on a path where we may be at war with Iran. That requires the Congress to fully engage." Also in open hearings, Democrats could seek to grill Pentagon officials on whether Trump's threats represent real planning and on whether, in their view, such threats could recklessly lead to more negative consequences. Another thing that could be explored in open hearings is how the decision was made and whether the intelligence supports it. I'm also very curious to see whether the Pentagon and the Trump administration coordinated in any way, because it seems like there's chaos within the Trump administration. In fact, just yesterday, the Pentagon put out a letter accidentally indicating that they were going to pull US troops out of Iraq, and then later they had to do damage control because it was an accident and they didn't actually mean that.
Yeah, so I'm curious about your opinion here because I think this is a good development, but you sound a little bit more skeptical. So I'm actually surprised the Democrats are saying, oh, no, you need to have congressional hearings before you start war with Iran. That's stronger than they would normally act. I'm ready to give them credit for that. And in fact, Schiff also said Pelosi has announced that something constricting Trump will be voted on this week. If that's real and they actually have a vote, that would be terrific. Now, I'm withholding judgment until they actually do it, because now Iran is currently, as we're doing this show live, bombing our bases in Iraq. So my guess is Democrats will get scared and run away. But if I'm wrong, I would love that. I would love to give them credit. So far, to me, this looks like a really good development, and I'm looking forward to giving Schiff and Pelosi credit. But what were you not buying in this?
Look, you can't stab yourself and then when you have like blood gushing out of your body, like find the smallest band-aid possible to try to make the situation better, right? So while I'm not opposed to the open hearings, and I think it's important for them to ask the appropriate questions to get to the bottom of the truth, the reality is Democrats have enabled what the Trump administration is doing right now over and over and over again, right? They did it in the lead up to the preemptive war in Iraq, right? Voting along with Republicans to allow the executive branch to unilaterally make these types of decisions, okay? They kept voting in favor of those types of policies. They keep voting in favor of increasing the military budget, handing almost a blank check to the executive branch to carry out whatever nonsense they want to carry out, including Trump's stupid Space Force, right? That's the latest spending bill that we criticized on this show. So look, it's not good enough to try to deal with the symptoms of a virus that they helped create.
Now, here's where I would give them overwhelming credit. And look, guys, I don't tell you things against Democratic leadership because it's fun. I tell you because it's true. I wish it weren't the case. So if it isn't the case, I can't wait to say they did a wonderful job. So what would lead me to saying that? If they actually stop Trump. Now, how can they do that? Well, Ro Khanna suggested an amendment to the defense bill that said you cannot attack Iran without getting congressional authorization. Now, you don't actually even need that bill because it's already in the Constitution, but it would be wonderful. It would be great because it would send a sign you are not allowed to attack, and we just voted on it, okay? Now, Democratic leadership took that out. Barbara Lee said, well, let's take away the authorization for use of military force from 2002 against Iraq because they're using it as an excuse. By the way, Obama also used it as an excuse, but Trump is now going over the top as usual in saying that gives me authority. So why did you take out the Barbara Lee amendment? That is my criticism of Democratic leadership. But it's okay, as AOC pointed out over the weekend, hey, you know what? So you took it out of the bill, it doesn't mean you can't vote on it now. So if Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff, etc., come out and say, you know what, we are gonna vote on Barbara Lee's proposal and Ro Khanna's proposal, I would love it, and I would give them all the credit in the world. And the only person who could determine that is them, not us. So if they do it, we're gonna give them credit. If they don't do it, we're gonna criticize them. That's how reality works. Now, of course, the mainstream media doesn't see it that way. You have to kiss their ass no matter what. Facts don't matter. But for us, in the reality-based world, facts matter, they're everything.
Absolutely. And look, to be fair to Schiff, the statements that he gave to the Washington Post were good statements. For instance, he did chime in on the alleged intel, which no one has seen. In fact, the Trump administration hasn't even talked to Congress, the Gang of 8, about this intel. He plans to do so tomorrow. But here's what Schiff said: "I'm certainly not satisfied that the intelligence supports the conclusion that the killing of Soleimani was going to either prevent attacks on the United States or reduce the risk to American lives. If anything, that risk is going to go up, not down." And Adam Schiff made this statement prior to a giant story breaking today about how Iran just did missile attacks against a military base in Iraq, right? So you have US soldiers and Iraqi soldiers based there.
So look, these hearings are good no matter what. I want to back up Adam Schiff. I like his quotes. They're focusing a little too much on the attacking Iran's cultural sites because it's low-hanging fruit. I get the politics of it, but Trump's already backed away from that. But guys meaning Schiff, Pelosi, Hoyer, etc., Democratic leadership. If you actually pass a resolution saying Trump is not allowed to attack Iran without getting congressional approval for war, we've got your back 1,000%. All we care about is policy. Pass that bill, and now look, I get it, it's gotta go to the Senate, I understand that. But it is rhetorically and legally, and as a matter of moving the national conversation, super important. Okay, you fight back effectively, we're on your side. Now, the jury's out, we're gonna see, now that the rockets are flying, are they gonna get scared and run for the hills, or are they gonna double down and be strong? If they are, then yes, we're super happy to back them up. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.